Every time, I swear to God. Oh! Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We are up in action. Ladies and gents, this is the BCS After Hours show, and we got a full house tonight. Get the rolling, get the chat rolling, the debates going, the arguments, everything sports, and definitely talk about this finals game one recap. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to give us a follow on all your social media accounts. That's on TikTok, X, as well as Instagram. You can find us at Bet Show. Plays coming your way, clips coming your way, anything you want to hear sports. And if you want to get the ball rolling with us, always throw us a comment or a question. How are we feeling out there, world? And how are we feeling right here in the chat for the fellas? We'll do a quick little roll call in the house. Of course, we got Northland's finest always on my right. We got the Soch man in the house. Soch, how are we feeling? How you feeling about it being Friday, my friend?
I mean, shoot, love Friday. Got a little 18 in at the Links, a little tournament. Me and ZJ just got back from a bar, met some radio locals, so that was always good. But no, it's good to be here. It's good to have the whole crew finally here. So glad to see what we think about game one. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited. Always a good time to get on with you boys.
100%. Of course, we go down low. We got to go to the just one relocated man. We got the Whitster in the house, baby. How you feeling? Happy Friday, too. Good to have you as always. Got a big glare behind you.
Yeah, wait, you might have to turn that light down a little bit.
So, sunny California, you know what I mean? It's not a light. It's just the sun, just coming through, just permeating, just how we feel out here. It's 77 degrees here on Mission Hills Golf Club. No big deal, but having a cold one, transition, as he would say, transition. I'm continuing my transition.
Absolutely. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you guys always come back to the show, the Teflon Don, the money man himself, Big E in the house. E, happy Friday, my friend. How you feeling?
Outstanding. Happy Friday, everyone. 4-finger pour to you and the crew.
4-finger.
Let's go.
100%. Let's action rolling, guys. Shout out to all the live viewers and listeners. If you ever have a comment or a question, just type it in the chat and everything. We'll throw you up, give you a shout out, and get the ball rolling. Before we bounce into the game one recap finals, Mavs versus Celtics, I kind of wanted to get into a conversation we kind of got over on the chat line thing. Lakers new head coach. What are we thinking with everything? I know we kind of chopped it up just a little bit. I just wanted off the top of your guys' heads. We don't have to spend too much time on this because I want to get to the meat and bones of the finals. But what's everything going on with that, the controversy? How do you feel you think is going to happen for the future of the Lakers? We'll start with Soch.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about Dan Hurley. They're trying to get the deal done by this weekend. So, like he was even saying in the group chat that, the wife wanted to stay there. They love being at UConn, but I mean, it's always, money talks. And for a coach like that to make the transition from college to the NBA, you're going to have to unload a bag. You're going to have to unload a long-term contract. And I think that's what the Lakers are trying to do. I would think that it works in the end. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge about what's a success and what's not a success for him the first year or the first 2 years. I mean, is it making the playoffs? Is it making the conference finals? Is it winning the title? It's all subjective to opinion, but I like the hire of Dan Hurley if they get it done. I mean, I think he's going to be a good coach. He seems like he is a leader of men that Witt likes to say a lot of the time. And when you're going to Goatville, and that's LeBron, I mean, the coaches are obviously gonna talk about it, and I think it'll work in the long run. So if they get it done, that's going to be exciting, and I think LeBron's going to be able to show him the ropes about what it takes to be an NBA coach, what it takes to win at this type of level. This isn't college. You can't talk to these people like they're college students. These are guys that are already making more money than that he is, and Yeah, I mean, we were having a big. I mean, we can get into everything. We were having a big debate about whether or not it was going to work, not work. But I think it'll be. I think it'll be a good fit for him. LeBron has been singing this guy's praises for a long time. I mean, it's hard not to when the guys won back-to-back national championships at a college level. That doesn't really happen. So, as a fan, I really want to see it. I think he's going to be an upgrade from Darvin Ham, and I think they can make it work. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You have to think LeBron has signed off on this if they're pursuing him so hard, or they're willing to move on from LeBron. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't think it's going to work. And the reason why is the Lakers are like the Dodgers or the Yankees. Without a championship, the season was a failure. So I think to make this crazy move, I think they're either going to give it 1 year with LeBron if LeBron decides to come back, or they're just going to move on from LeBron and they're going to you would have to commit to Hurley. They don't have the pieces. It's to me, it's a train wreck for him. I would stay at Connecticut. That's me. I don't think the Lakers are in a good position. There's so many other teams with so many other pieces and draft stock and all kinds of other things. So it's going to be, I don't know, man. I don't see Dan Hurley in LA. I don't see him as the Lakers coach. It's almost like they haven't had a coach like Dan Hurley. And I'm not going to say that they're on the same trajectory or anything since Pat Riley. Like his demeanor is just, it's my way. The practices are going to be harder. The days off will be less. It's crazy to think like AD and LeBron are just going to conform to that unless he completely conforms to them, to which then you're just in a position where, again, LeBron and the players are running what the coach does. So does LeBron want to coach? Does he want to get one, maybe two more titles? I don't know. If he lets him coach, I think it would be a great thing, but it's going to be difficult. But I don't know. This is crazy to me. It's almost like they went from JJ Redick, LeBron's boy, to like Dan Hurley, who's like going to be the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't know what they're going to do. It's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went out and got somebody else. But I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a train wreck.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Look, right, we all kind of are familiar with the Hurley family. You know, you guys know I'm from New Jersey. That is a gold star family, if you will, Hall of Fame family. Bobby Sr., his dad, won 28 state high school titles at St. Anthony's. The school's now closed. Think about that, 28. That's more than any other coach in the nation in high school. The Hurley family's gold. His Bobby Jr., you know, played for Duke. You guys remember that part. And then of course, you know, Dan. But they're a serious family. I do like what Sasha sent out in the text line. I would be excited if what Haslam's saying is true, right? That LeBron wants to be coached because Hurley will coach him. If not, they'll go head to head, but he won't back down either. And the best part, I think, for Hurley is get the bag, and you're the defending back-to-back college champ, right? You got 2 back-to-back NCAA titles. Let's say this doesn't work out. You can pick your college and go back. You're not like, I don't think he's a guy that's going to lose credibility from going there. Also with LeBron, and everything goes back to him. I like, it'd be ridiculous to think he's not involved in a way, right? You don't go to a guy like that, and that's any team's all-star, and just hire a coach without like, hey, Bron, this is what we're thinking. He does love Hurley. He talked about it after the first title, said he's an expert in the offense, but yeah, maybe LeBron's thinking too. Listen, I need a guy that's going to run this team. I'm sure this year you can't be. I guess you can because he did. You should never be the oldest player on your team and have the most minutes. I'm sure he looked down that bench and was like, I need a fucking coach that's going to kick these guys in the ass and get them out here on this floor. Every time we get to the playoffs, I'm fucking burnt. And that's not a knock on LeBron. Like if we bring it up, it's like, oh, I'm not knocking. I'm saying he's 38 years old. He's got a lot of miles, right? Wouldn't it be best to rest that guy, have him saved up for the playoffs? And he's got a 2-year window, let's say. I'm capping it, but maybe he goes longer. If he gives Hurley a chance, I think they can do some good stuff. AD's just going to have to get out the way. That'll be the thing for AD. You know, they're not going to spend all this money because it's going to cost a lot to bring them, right? I don't see this being a one and done. Like, hey, players don't like the coach. Hopefully he works with LeBron and let's see what they do. It's going to be fun. Nothing's happened yet, so maybe the JJ stuff was just smoke. You know, Brian Windhorst bullshit and all that. This seems a little more hot, but I don't know. I'd like to see it. I mean, the Hurleys. Just that whole family. He's bringing a lot of basketball knowledge, a lot of basketball pedigree, and that I think that means a lot in the locker room too. I got it. He hasn't won an NBA title, but he won 2 NCAA titles. He can coach. He's coming in, and yes, I think it'd be cool. Let's see what a lot better, 100,000, 90 zillion times better than JJ Redick. I feel like I didn't know what the JJ thing was going to be. This at least you have you have some credibility. So. That's my thoughts on it. You got on mute.
I think with the Lakers, I think people in general almost forget or skip over that they just won the championship in the bubble. If you want to count that or not, they did win the actual championship within the bubble. But there's been a suck after that with the Lakers to where it's been like just dreadful, brutal to watch and everything. The losing has gone up so much. The culture itself has just gone down. With the whole JJ Redick thing, it's like, yeah, I mean, that might be cool or not. LeBron likes him and everything, but why would you put a first-time head coach in that position when the suck has been so bad with the Lakers as of late? And now, like what he's saying, you got this all-time championship head coach, championship family in general. I mean, winning is just in these guys' DNA. What better coach to bring to the Lakers organization to get the ball rolling again, especially with you have one of the greatest players to play the game on that team. I think that's the move you got to make if you're the Lakers. I would do whatever I can to get Coach Hurley over to LA. I think that's the big move you need, the adjustment you need to get this franchise up on its feet again with everything going on. And to what Sach is kind of talking about too, you do have now grown men in the NBA. It will be a test. It will be a challenge going from college to the NBA. But I mean, this guy is just built around winning. He's built around basketball, knowing to dominate another coach and another team. I love it. I think it would be a great fit for the Lakers. I think Coach Hurley and LeBron will be a great fit together, especially with both of their knowledge together. We've talked, he runs like a military styled practice all the time, which I think is great for some of these guys and everything, discipline and whatnot. Obviously, these guys are a lot older and everything, but I mean, discipline goes a long way, especially when it comes to guys playing in the NBA and everything. Who's focused on winning games? You got to do something. I think this will be a great move for the Lakers. I really do. And what he said, too, I mean, it's a win-win for Coach Hurley. If he ends up not doing good here, he's one of the greats in college basketball. He can go wherever he wants. I mean, so if I was him, why not get paid to play at the highest level and then see where your options are at and everything? I don't know, guys. I really think the Lakers need to make this happen. They need to capitalize this situation. Because what they're doing now, obviously what we've been seeing has just been terrible, horrible. I mean, they've had so many coaches moved in and out of this system and everything. Got to get a guy that can get wins up there on the court.
When was the last time, though, college, 2 points, and I'm so on the fence about this, you know, but when was the last time a successful college coach went to the NBA, was successful immediately or successful at all? 1. 2, I do think LeBron wants him because I think LeBron over the years has been frustrated with coaches. I know, like, I get on him about, like, controlling the organization, these things. I do think that LeBron gets uberly frustrated about basketball IQ and coaches not having the basketball IQ that he has. I think that's one of his internal things that he's like, what are we doing? You've seen it from Cleveland, every team he's been on, he's been frustrated with a late game something, and he immediately recognizes it while he's in the game. He's not even like, sometimes when you're in the picture, it's a little bit harder to see, where LeBron can be in the picture and know we are not doing the right things for the person that's supposed to be looking at the entire picture. So I do think that I don't know. It's just, are the Lakers going to make some moves? Because they do need a couple different pieces too. And can AD stay healthy? And I think those are things as well. But Hurley, I mean, like you said, that family. I mean, I was always a big Bobby Hurley fan, man. Wanted to see him succeed and everything, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Wait and see, and excited to see.
If you're a Dookie like me and Whit, you're a Hurley family savant forever. I mean, what they've done for Duke basketball, what they've done in the league, what they've done at the college basketball level. I mean, that you can't really debate that. So, when I'm looking at how a college coach is going to get hired to the NBA, you're kind of looking at three things. You're looking at job security, you're looking at money, and you're looking at if it's really going to affect you if it doesn't work out. And all those three things check the box for Hurley. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back to college basketball, just like what he said. Like, it's not really going to affect your knowledge at the college basketball level. And if UConn is only offering, let's say, a 3-year or a 4-year deal, but the Lakers are offering a 5-year, 6-year deal for a lot more money, I mean, you'd kind of be stupid to not take it. So I think it'll be a win-win for the Lakers and for Hurley. And as far as LeBron goes, it's always tough when you're coaching LeBron. It's not easy. It's not for the faint at heart. When you look at all of his coaches in the past, I mean, you're looking at Darvin Ham. You're looking at who's the Suns coach again? I fucking forget his name.
Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel?
Yeah, when you're looking at Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham, and you're looking at Luke Walton, those aren't alpha male type coaches. Like, you can just see how they coach. It's not alpha male type coaches. And I think a good alpha male coach for LeBron benefits him as well. Because, I mean, he's not going to be like, oh, this is what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. I think they'll be in sync. I think LeBron's going to be able to help him. He's going to be able to help LeBron. He's going to be able to make the adjustments. He's going to do all of that. And especially if LeBron thinks highly of you when it comes to the IQ and the knowledge of basketball, like Udonis Haslem said, that's a win-win. And, I mean, we can believe Udonis Haslem. We cannot believe Udonis Haslem. But at the end of the day, there's nothing like – there's nothing –
Sorry, not in your backswing. My bad. You were just getting
no. There's nothing like knowing a player more than if you played with him and you were in the trenches with him. I mean, you have to take some weight with that. At the end of the day, you have to think that holds some weight. Udonis Haslem, a 40 or a 20-year vet, he's 40 years old when he was playing. What he's saying about LeBron, that has to hold a lot of weight to people, whether we want to believe it or not. Dan Hurley is perfect for that situation. And I mean, like we're all pretty much agreeing it's going to be good, especially if the money's good. And I think it'll help the Lakers. And as far as ZJ's going with it's been terrible. It's been a disgrace. It's disgusting. I mean,
Bad.
I mean, that's a little too.
You were viral on that thread, ZJ. You were viral, like you were using some pretty viral adjectives.
It's not. And I get what he's saying. Like, when you're playing with the Lakers, you expect to win. I get what he's saying.
It's not for their standard.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly what you said. It's not to their standard. I'm just talking about the adjectives that you were using, like it's a disgrace, the city's in shambles,
Disgusting,
and all of that. Disgusted. But I mean, at the end of the day, they did make the conference finals, I guess, 2 years ago. And I mean, did they probably overachieve? Absolutely. But that goes to show you how close they can be. And the NBA is always a what if league for any situation. What if we had this guy? What if this guy was coaching? What if this? So, I mean, I could see them being close. They're going to have to make a lot of decisions as far as personnel wise. So it'll be interesting. I hope he gets hired because I think it'll be a good fit.
Yeah,
absolutely, guys. Let us know. Yeah, go ahead.
Or maybe I won't. DJ.
No, go ahead.
Just say, look, one, Haslam's got no reason to lie. Like I told you in that text, he's Mr. Heat. Him and Alonzo Mourning. He wasn't propping the Heat. He wasn't repping Heat. He's talking about LeBron. I don't think he's got any reason to lie about that. Two, I don't think you have to worry about UConn. It's a state school, so they're not going to be able to raise the money that the Lakers can give them. They don't have that kind of bank.
Yeah.
So They won't have to worry about that spot. And ZJ, yeah, his adjectives were a little bit colorful, but I do like what he was saying. It's not the Lakers standard, right? To get a play-in game, that's not the standard. Hey, we need to up it. So let's bring in a coach. Let's get this team, and let's get back to standard. But yeah, I like all the points. Good discussion. Sorry, ZJ.
100%. Absolutely, guys. All the live.
I want to even go off of what he was saying with the coaches. I have to do it. I'm sorry, ZJ. I know you're about to talk and lead us to the next thing. But when you look at the coaches that have coached LeBron, they haven't done anything when he's not there. And I think that has a lot of weight to when you look at his coaches that have been coaching him and what they've done after or before. It's not like he left Spoelstra and the Heat have won 2 titles. It's not like he left the Cavs and they won titles with Mike Brown. It's not like Vogel, who they got rid of, which probably do right. I mean, he did win a title there, so that's perfectly fine. But, I mean, he just got swept in the first round with 3 superstars. So that's the only thing that I disagree with when people say, like, oh, he's going to get him fired. He don't let him coach. If he's not letting him coach and they go to somewhere else, they're not coaching. They're not winning championships coaching.
Who's the 3 superstars? Who are you talking on the Lakers?
No, I'm saying Vogel went to a 3-superstar team with Bill,
gotcha.
Durant, and Booker.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing that like kind of boggles my mind when people talk about LeBron's coaches and he won't let them coach. He lets them have a career after they leave, and they haven't really done much.
Israel. He had a dude from Israel when he was with the Cavs. I don't
David
remember
Blatt.
his name.
They had David fucking Blatt. And if David Blatt was such a good coach,
the East was hot garbage then. Like LeBron was running through the East like a hot knife through butter. The East was garbage for like 6 to 8 years when LeBron was making his runs. Like hot.
And that's fine.
The Celtics. You had the Celtics. That's it. Name another team that he really went through or had the Pistons. The Pistons were like decent, but there was no good teams in the East. Like the East was garbage, like horrible.
And they could be garbage, but it still holds weight getting there. It's not like before the season started, the Timberwolves were garbage. That's what people would probably say. They were garbage. The Suns were the best team in the league. That didn't end up happening. So it's all subjective to what you think is garbage. I mean, the Raptors when LeBron left the East and went to the West, and then the Raptors ended up winning. I mean,
but the Raptors had good pieces. Like the
Raptors have always been a good team. But LeBron owns Toronto. They call it LeBronto. They call that city LeBronto. That's how much he's owned that city.
Let's be honest. LeBron he's an all-time great. He should own. He's a top 3 player of all time. He should own cities. You know what I mean? But he could back me up. The East, he's the East guy. The East was hot. It was hard to watch for like 6 years, 7 years. Like it wasn't like
that's every single year. And you've never seen anyone go to the finals as much as he has.
True. And I think we're moving the goalpost a little bit. Sach's point was the coaches that he played for. Not like the level of competition in the East. It was just besides Riley, who's he played for that had anything. Now, maybe possibly Hurley. He's just had one and dones.
Has LeBron ever had patience, though, to like – I mean, all the coaches he's had, has he ever stayed with a coach for three years? Okay.
But when you're LeBron, when you're LeBron, you don't have patience. The media you don't have time to settle in. You don't have time to, like, let's do a 3-4 year plan. Like, when you're LeBron, the expectations are so high, they expect him to win now.
Well, he's 40 now. That's different than when he was in his 20s. When he was in his 20s, it's different. Anyone will tell you, like, when discipline falters, like, the mission is in danger, the championship is in danger. So I think he's been on teams that lack discipline, and they haven't had a coach, and he doesn't back the coach. If LeBron ever I don't care if the guy was not that good of a coach. If LeBron got behind him and said, this is my guy regardless, yada, yada, I think other people would fall in line. And he could walk in and say, you need to get rid of him, and him. Bad for culture, bad for climate, not willing to do what it takes to win. You could get players in there and overcompensate for that coach and build a relationship and develop that coach. Like you can't just like will you ever get married if you jump from relationship to relationship? You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to happen. He never, like, I'd go back. I don't know. I'd have to go back on his coaches, but who did he play for the longest? Spoelstra? 3 years? Other than that, I don't know that he's played for anyone longer than 2 years.
But Whit, after LeBron leaves, these coaches, they don't do anything.
Well, they what do you mean they didn't do anything? Like, LeBron didn't win with them either. He won titles here and there. LeBron's
won with every organization. The coaches don't win without LeBron. You look at every coach; they haven't won without him.
But if you look at what they do too, they sell the farm, they get players in. So then
they don't sell the farm because he signs in free agency with.
But no, dude. They get rid of people to get people for him. Love. They got rid of Wiggins. I think Wiggins would have been a great sidekick for him. A wing defender, long, lengthy. LeBron didn't want to be patient. So then he goes back to the Cavs because the Cavs got Kyrie due to LeBron moving on and them being just atrocious. And they get Kyrie, comes back. He wants Love. And then you have a three-headed monster.
But you don't have time to wait and see. You don't have time to wait and see.
He's in his 20s. He was in his 20s. You don't need to go to the finals every year. You do.
When you're LeBron, that's why we're having this discussion. You have to go to the finals when you're LeBron.
I think he would have won more titles had he stayed.
If LeBron doesn't go to the finals every year, it's a failure, and that'll always be a dark stain on his heart. When we all go to our maker, we're going to be like, LeBron didn't make it to the finals.
The problem that happened to LeBron, it goes back to my point. The problem, what happened to LeBron is the East was so trash, other than the Celtics and the Pistons for a time frame, that they ended up as a high seed, got deep in the playoffs, and they never got picks with him there because the East was trash. LeBron was good, so he overcompensated for those things, and it was just a perfect thing. So instead of LeBron staying there and saying, hey, let's continue to draft, let's make some trades, let's do some things, he moved on because he got frustrated with it. Now, there's a whole Miami thing. Does he ever win a title if he never goes to Miami? Is he the player he is if he doesn't learn from Riley in that organization? I don't get into all that. LeBron's great, but, dude, the journey is the destination a lot of times, and he continually changes the fucking scenery. It's too much. It's too much. I think he would have won more had he just stayed in Miami. If he'd have stayed in Miami and let Bosh go, let some people go, that organization is one of the most stable franchises in the NBA. More than the Lakers. The Lakers are volatile, up, down, up, down. The Heat, if he stays with the Heat, I think he wins 2 more titles at least. That's what I think. And that's where I think he messed up and his pride got in the way with Riley.
He won
and some
2 titles without the Heat.
He would have won. No, I'm saying on top of what he's already won, he would have won 4 more titles. So he'd have won what he got now, and I think he would have won at least 3 or 4 more with the Heat. He would have won more titles, I think, if he stayed with the Heat.
So who needed who more? Did LeBron need the Heat, or did the Heat need LeBron to stay relevant?
I think it's
last time I checked, the Heat haven't won without him.
The players
haven't won without him. The Lakers have not won without him.
Outside of Cleveland being successful this year, the Heat have been in contention and went to the finals last year. They have Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy, broken knee Jimmy. They have a hero.
Playoff Jimmy. Jimmy Butler's a fucking clown. He needs to get over this bullshit that he fucking does.
I know. So they have nobody. Who do they have?
Bro, the dude is barely healthy. Jimmy Butler's cool. He's cool. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler is not – Jimmy Butler –
I like that picture,
How
CJ.
out there, world? This is the BCS After Hours edition, baby. We got the fellas hot and steaming.
I like that picture, though. I like that picture of Scotch. Taking notes with his pen. That was perfect timing. Taking them notes.
We appreciate you guys, all the live viewers and listeners. We're always going to get the topics flowing. We're going to get a little heated in here. It's live sports, baby. We're always up and rolling, but we're going to stick to this tonight and get the conversation rolling. Guys, like we were kind of going back in the past and everything, coaching positions for the Lakers in the live chat. If you guys have an opinion on that, who do you think the Lakers should choose as their next head coach? Write it in the comment section. We'll give you a shout out on the show, but let's jump into what the people are wanting, ladies and gents. Finals game 1 recap. Mavs Celtics. Celtics absolutely put on a dominant performance. Absolutely crushed the Mavs. Did what they were supposed to do at home. Can the Mavs come back and stop this team, or have the Celtics already declared the shit? Start with Sach on this one. Kind of your thoughts on the game, Sach, man.
I want to go ahead and start with E. Let's go ahead and start with E because I was talking a while. E, go ahead.
You're on mute, E.
You're muted. But
You're on
you look,
mute, E.
you're muted.
You're on mute, E.
I didn't even say his name. I said everything goes back to LeBron, but I didn't say his name. Never mind. Yeah, of course the Mavs. It's one game, to Sach's point, but it was a big game. It was a big game. Sach called it from the beginning. I think Boston's bench is so deep. My goodness. When they're on, and Dallas had to have that A game. Something interesting with Jason Kidd, which I wish I knew beforehand, but I didn't because I said take Dallas and the 6 points. But Jason Kidd is 3-8 altogether as a head coach in game ones, going back to 2014 when he won one. But with Dallas, he's 1-6. So he won against Minnesota going into this. I just don't think they were ready. I mean, we watched the game, and I'm sitting there, and I'm simplifying it in a way. But there's no way you have 6 days, and you're not saying, guys, we got to defend the 3. Like, how the fuck does that? It was like they were all in on defending the paint. That was it. We're going to defend this paint. And how many times did you see pick a Celtic, dribble into the paint, and then they kick it out to an open guy in the 3 because the defense collapses to the paint? So, I mean, they did that the whole fucking game, first, second, third, and fourth quarter. They didn't learn anything. They didn't adjust. And granted, they're hitting those threes, but they should never be that open. Look, I'll give you a fucking layup. But they just sit around the perimeter. One guy will dribble in it, and 3 guys collapse on him. Boom, kick it to the open guy, White, Brown, Porzingis, you name it, Tatum. They're popping threes. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. They kept doing the same thing. Kid didn't make an adjustment. There wasn't one adjustment. So I don't know what's going to come in game 2. But Boston came out, and they did what they had to do, and they set the standard. If there is a time with this team, it's game 2s. Game 2s for this team, they struggle. But yeah, Dallas just has to blow it off. They got to shake that off. You got to win 4, and it's really not a series until somebody wins on the road. So that was my take on it. Very disappointed with the output of Dallas with 6 days off to prep for this game.
I agree with all that, and I think there's a couple things that I thought, like, we all played sports, whether it be Little League or whether it be in high school, and I don't think Dallas ever, maybe 1 or 2 players, Luka, whatever, ever thought they'd be here. So I think when you get there, you're like, oh, we'll just play normal. And they don't step up the intensity, and next thing you know, 8 minutes in the first quarter, you're getting blown out. So I think that's one thing. I think the other thing is Boston's been there before. Boston, I think they were at home and they just did what they did. The thing I think that is going to make this competitive, whether Boston wins or not, I think their bench, I agree with everything you said, super deep. I do think Boston has a tendency to, after they win a game, they get blown out by 20 or 30. Just like Sach said, I think last show with like the Warriors on their runs, they would win and then they would get blown out by 20. It's like, okay. And the thing, the Celtics, they're not as good as a 3-point shooting team as the Warriors were back then either. And they do go on 3 for 28 runs in terms of 3-point shooting for a game. They do go on, I've seen them go 6 for 35. You know what I mean? And so what happens there, I think it allows Dallas to do some things. But the bench is so deep. Kyrie has to do so much. Luka has to do so much. They did well. Now, I don't know if I saw this right because I was watching at a small sports bar and the TVs weren't that big. Did Luka have 1 assist? I didn't look at it. I was looking at it. It was like 30, 10, and 1. And I was like, that can't be right. It must have been obstructed. But if he had 1 assist, that just says in itself. I'm going to look at it now, but that was weird. So I think Dallas does have a shot. The threes were falling. They do have to get out on them. But I think with Tatum, Brown, if Porzingis continues to play. But does Porzingis get to game 3 and his legs aren't underneath him? You know what I mean? And does White not play as well? And Horford is old. And there's a lot of different things that can happen. I think it'll still be a series. I think it goes 6 or 7 regardless. I'd be surprised if they sweep or gentlemen sweep. But it's the Celtics, man. They can lose by 25 next game.
And one more thing before I go to Soch, because I'll be done. But the other part, when I was watching, I was thinking, and I thought about football, right? So in football, you build your team to beat your conference champ, right? Like I'm building my team to beat the Chiefs or beat the Cow, whatever it is. Dallas got their bigs, to go up against Joker, Gafford, Lively. Who's the dude with the shoulder brace? I'm going to fuck up his name, so I don't want to say it. He just came back. Kleber or something like that.
Yeah, Max.
I don't know. But so, right. But I think that team was designed for Denver. Boston's big, Porzingis and Hartford. They hang out on the 3. We're not messing with around this thing. We're not even playing around there. So I don't know if Dallas is built either for that, right? So you're seeing Green on Porzingis. Like he had his hands up, and it wasn't even in Porzingis' face when he was guarding him. It's like Porzingis is just shooting. They got to come up with something. They got to get their rotations fixed and figure out what they're going to do. But I do think Dallas was kind of made to beat the bigs and to beat Joker.
So like I said, that's a true line. Luka had 30, 10, and 1. How many? You know who led the team in assists? Kyrie Irving had 2 assists. You know how many total team assists they had? They had 9 total team assists. That's crazy. 9 total team assists on 89 points. Like I saw it and I was like, maybe I had Crown and the TV's only like 45 inches or whatever, and it's 27 feet away. Whatever. I was like, there's no way he has 1 fucking assist. 1 assist. 9 total team assists and 2 for Kyrie Irving, who led the team in assists. And Kyrie obviously had 12 points. Bad night for him. But I agree with you, E. It's like they're going to have to play faster, or I don't know that they have a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys pretty much covered all the right points, especially what E said. This team was built to win the West. This team wasn't built to win against the Celtics. And when you look at the Celtics, that Celtics team is built to beat everyone. They're not worried about any East team. Kind of like what Whit was saying earlier, like it was an easy road, but that's how they were built. They were built to win the whole thing. The Mavs were built to beat Joker. They got those 2 bigs, but it's tough. The Celtics are just so deep in defense, offense. They really do not have a weakness. That's the scary part about it. They don't have a weakness. They cover the corner 3. They cover that better than anyone all season long. The Celtics have. They can switch pretty much 1 through 5 on anyone. And when you look at the Mavs, they can't do that. With those 2 bigs, you can't stretch Lively. You can't stretch Gafford all the way out to the 3-point line. They don't want that to happen. And for Luka to only have 1 assist, that just goes to the game planning that the Celtics have. And I've been saying that even as well. When you look at game one is always pretty much a fill-out game. It's always like – and I kind of think Jason Kidd was like, we're just going to rock with this game plan to see if it works at any point in the game. Because if it does, then you could kind of go to those sets and those play calls. But it was just completely one-sided. Besides the Mavs even putting it down to 8 points late in the second half, it didn't really feel like the Mavs had the control on the game. And there's going to be a lot of that was interesting that E said about Jason Kidd being 3-8 in game 1s. And that's honestly kudos to him for having that good of a record in the playoffs with the Mavs and having that bad of a game 1 record. But I think it all pretty much, like we were even talking to Zach Zeej when we were talking about it. It's kind of just simplifying, talking about the game. And I think it comes down to the Mavs. Kyrie Irving, you cannot have 12 points. It's cool that you had 12 points like when he was playing all these other teams in the West and they were still winning, but you cannot have 12 points in the finals game. You got to be a lot more aggressive, bro, when it comes to beating the Celtics. They're that good of a team where you don't look at the Mavs and you don't look like, oh, Kyrie can have an off night in PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., Maxi Kleber. These guys are not going to go off and carry you to a win. Now the Celtics, on the other hand, Jason Tatum, I don't even think took a shot in the first 6 minutes. First 6 minutes of the game, he didn't take one single shot, and they were up by 10 points, 8 points, whatever it was. And that's how the Celtics are built. They don't have to have one guy just go off. And then they bring in Sam Hauser, a three-point specialist, off the bench, score two or hit 2 threes right when he checks into the game. Porzingis off the bench, and that might be kind of scary. It'll be interesting to see if the Celtics just keep having him off the bench, because if the Mavs are going to have Jalen Green or whatever her name is, Josh Green guard Porzingis, you're not going to win. You're not going to win that way. It's just not. That's not how you're going to beat this team. So, I think they're going to have to stick to like a 6-man rotation, because when you look at that Mavs bench, you're going to have obviously Josh Green come in a little bit, Derek Lively, but after that, who are you going to have go in? They're not going to have anyone go in and make an impact. So it'll be interesting. I think Luka's going to have to score 30 plus, and Kyrie's going to have to score 20 plus. That's the only way. Let's keep it simple. Kyrie has to go to that bar, and there's a lot of hype around Kyrie Irving right now because all he is a highlight reel. You can have as many fucking highlights as you want. You can break ankles. You can do all these little cool layups, but at the end of the day, you hit a step back three and you break someone's ankles, it's still only 3 points. You don't get extra points. You don't get style points. And I think Kyrie Irving needs to have like that Cleveland Cavaliers Kyrie in him for these finals, where he got to go score 30.
Yeah, he's 0-11 against the Celtics since he left.
Yeah,
right.
and the Celtics had 16 threes. Dallas had 7. Luka 4 for 12, obviously leading everyone else, and Kyrie 0 for 5. I agree. I've always thought Kyrie was, even back to his Duke days, too cool for school. I think even his interviews, when you watch it, and just how his demeanor is, I could be reading him wrong, but it just seems like he doesn't have that like urgency. It's just like, hey, it'll happen. And I'm not keen on his attitude, but when you look at that, they obviously win by 18. They were up by much more than that, but you can't get outshot by 33 points in threes. I mean, 48 points of the 107 Boston scored was on 3-point field goals.
Yeah. And Kyrie, at the end of the day, you're one of the best ISO players to ever play the game. You have to go score. It's not that you can just sit back and score 12 points and it's going to be fine. Like, you have to go score. And that's the frustration that I have with him. Like exactly what Whit said. He kind of has that too cool. He can go into the media and be like, yo, I trust my teammates. This is how we got here. But no, at the end of the day, you have to go score more. You have to be aggressive. His aggression is just not there when you look at a lot of these games. He's not aggressive.
This first game, kind of what Sach was saying, first games are usually a filler, right? You see if your game plan works, you see if your scheme works, which is great. But this first game, I think the world saw just how good the Boston Celtics are as a complete team, guys. We got to, it hurts me to say this. We got to think 2 years ago, these guys were just they were in the final. The previous year, they were in the semis, got knocked out by the Heat, but they've always been in a position to win. And what did this organization do? Normally, you build around the guys you want to have. This organization was not afraid to break up what was already going good to make even better. Taking out Marcus Smart, bringing in Porzingis, bringing in Drew Holiday. The Celtics want to win right now, and they want you to know that they are the best team in the NBA. And I think they absolutely showed that in game 1. I mean, it's crazy how much explosiveness, how much scoring and defense, to what Sach was saying, they have over on this Boston Celtics team. They have 5 guys that can just do really whatever they want. And Porzingis has been sitting out for the last playoff series, coming in and just busting everyone. He got the rest he needed, obviously, and came in and made it happen and whatnot. And that's scary to what Sach said too. If they're going to have him come off the bench and everything to readjust already what's going on. It's really scary out there. For if I'm the Mavs, I'm a little concerned right now. I really am. I'm not too concerned. It was the first game and everything, but I'm a little concerned with how much you have to go up against to actually get the job done. You guys are saying with Kyrie, that's really the X factor here with the Mavs. I mean, Luka's going to get his. We know that. Luka's going to get his. Kyrie needs 25 plus. He really does if they're going to make this a ball game, and he has to do that night in and night out. He's got to be Kyrie. He's got to do what he can do. He can get to the rim with ease. He can shoot with ease, but he's got to just not think about it so much. He's got to know, and I think he did. I think after this first game, he's realizing I have to do a lot more if we're going to be able to win this thing and whatnot. So we're going to see what happens. Like I said, I was down on the Celtics for the majority of the playoffs, everyone they've played against and whatnot. These guys are the real deal, man. This is the best team in the NBA. It really is.
Here's something to think about, though, and maybe people can look at this. Obviously, I love analytics. What is Jason Tatum doing in a win like this playing 42 minutes? Riddle me that. 42 minutes. Led all players in minutes played. Jaylen Brown, second in minutes played, 37 minutes. The only one close to him on the mat, Doncic played 38, Kyrie played 37. But what is Jason Tatum doing in a blowout win like that playing 42 minutes? I don't know. What's Jaylen Brown doing playing 37? You couldn't spell them like you were up 30.
Yeah,
You're just going on your rotation and just being like, it's just 42 minutes. So you sit out, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I think that even like when you were putting bets in and you're like, oh, he's going to come out in the playoffs, when you're up by 20 with 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left, that's like a 10-point game in today's modern NBA. You've got to keep those dudes in until it's locked, sealed, smoke and barrel win. And I think part of it was why he played so many minutes is they had such a long break. I think they had like 11 days off. I think it was kind of like a tune-up game where, we're just going to play them these many minutes. We're not going to worry about injury. We just got to get these guys flowing again. So that's what I think it is. I think, like, let's say the Celtics lose that game. Like when it was an 8-point game, let's say they came back. Like you can't – you got to play these guys until the game is completely gone. And I know it was a 30-point blowout, but until the game is 25 points, 4 minutes left, that's when you take these guys out.
Yeah, 42 seems a lot.
And
that was a lot. Yeah.
If I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm worried because it went too well. And these are professionals. I get all that shit, but it was too easy. And the fucking house was blaring, and the crowd was crazy, and they probably didn't sleep all night, and they thinking this is in the bag. This is too easy. Yeah. And as the coach, you got to be saying, listen, guys, settle down. They're pros just like us. Let's not get too into ourselves, but it's going to be very hard not to. What do you think all the media today in Boston's about? And they're hearing it all. Yeah. And I get it, but like, man, as a coach, I'm saying as a coach, I'm scared. Like, guys, you can't listen to this. Yeah,
that's a good point because
everything was too easy. It's not going to be this easy.
Boston went home, slept with their wife, got a home cooked meal. You know what I mean? They're at home. Probably went to a family function or their kids' graduation, what have you. And then Dallas is like, we just got our ass whooping. We're in the city and they're walking around and people probably talking shit to them and they're probably getting some fucked up service. Like game 2, if it looks the same as game 1, I think we're in for a shorter series than we think. But even if Celtics win and if it's not competitive or doesn't go to OT or it's not a 1-3-point game, I think it's going to be a shorter series than we think. But I got to think, like, you got to sit in that environment for 48 hours. And Boston isn't like they're talking shit. They don't care who you are or where you come from. So it's going to be interesting.
And the Mavs, I mean, you got to look at it at the end of the day. You just got fucking smacked in the mouth for game 1. You can look at your team, and you can always say you got the baddest motherfucker in the NBA, the baddest motherfucker in the world right now. When you look at right now, like we're not looking at MVPs, you're just looking at right now, you got the baddest guy in the world on your team with how he's playing. And that's the scary thing, like he said. look, we beat them by 30, but the next game is 0-0 once that ball tips off, and you got Luka Doncic and you got Kyrie Irving. You will be okay. Let's just fucking move on to game 2, and we're gonna start fresh and make our adjustments.
We need to work. It's not over yet. And, so I'll let you finish, right? But I'll give you the football again analogy, right? Normally, it's not a one-loss team that beats the undefeated team. It's a one-win team that beats that undefeated team because they think we got this. It's an easy week. And I'm just saying the way it was so easy for Boston in game 1 is it can be hard for you as an athlete, a prime athlete, to be thinking, man, we just do this again. I know coach is going to say it's like this, but look what we just did. But let's go out here and you can wind up. It can be reversed. The same steamroll, right? So
especially
I'm just giving you. I'm saying like Joe Mazzulla's thoughts. That's where I would be as the coach. I got to keep my team hungry and ready.
Yep.
We need game 2. We didn't do shit.
And if you're the Mavs in this situation, you're still fine, right? The best thing you do in these playoff series, you got to just win on the road. You want to split on the road. You still have it right in front of you. Game 2, that's always the best thing, to split on the road. You got to get it. So, I mean, they're still fine. The pressure here has still always been on the Celtics. Kind of what E's kind of getting at, everything with them blowing them out and whatnot. The pressure going into this is always going to be the Celtics and whatnot. Mavs really have nothing to lose at this point. They've gone pretty far. But to what Sach is saying, too, you got to look at who personnel. We need Luka to cook. But at the same time, if you're that team, you got to also look at Kyrie and be like, dude, you're Kyrie freaking Irving. Show it. We're in the finals. We're in the finals, baby. So it'll be game 2 is going to be interesting. I'm hoping we're getting a little bit of a better game and everything, because game 1 was boring, man. We kind of knew the Celtics were going to run away with it and everything. I want a competitive game. I want to see what happens. I want to see these guys step up to the occasion. And can the Celtics handle it? I don't know. That's right. Because this is the BCS show after hours. Happy Friday to you guys. The weekend is upon us. We know you made it here. We got the parlay show going tomorrow, 10 a.m. We're going to get you a hot, spicy parlay for you guys like you always like. You can always bet the singles as well. We're always tossing out heat, get you something to go. We want to wrap this thing up, put a bow on it. Great topic tonight. Witt and Sach almost came to blows. That's all right. We're going to keep the thing running as always, baby. But like we always do, we just want to thank you guys for always being here. You can always throw a comment or a question in the live chat. We'll give you a shout out like we always do with everyone. Shout out to You Smell Me. I don't know what that means, but shout out to you.
Russell Ray. What the fucking...
But like we always do here, before we put a bow on this thing, wrap this episode up, let's just do a quick around the room. Any last thought I want to throw out into the world? Can be absolutely anything. And of course, we'll start with Sach.
I mean, going back to what ZJ's trying to turn it into, like, me and Witt, we're gonna do all this stuff and we're gonna wrestle. Look, at the end of the day, it's sports. We're arguing about sports. We have 2 different opinions. I think me and Witt would disagree on a lot of things in life, and that's okay. You can disagree with everyone. There's a lot of things that we would disagree with, I think, in life. But at the end of the day, we both respect each other. I respect Witt as a man, and it'll never cross over that line. So, me and Witt would have a good time, especially on that fucking brand new country club he's at. This dude's living the life. So, it's all sports, it's all argument, it's all opinion, and it was good. It was good to have everyone on today. It was really fun. Really looking forward to game 2 to see these adjustments. This is when we're really going to see what the teams are capable of. Game 1's always a fill-out game. If the Mavs came out and fucking waxed that ass by 20, I really wouldn't be that surprised, because that's how the Celtics are when it comes in series like these. But yeah, we got the parlay show tomorrow, and I'm gonna start doing some research on that. Got a big day.
Yeah, you got the Dodgers Yankees tonight on Apple fucking TV, so it doesn't matter what you have. And then you got them tomorrow at 4:35, and then you got them on Fox and then ESPN on Sunday. So good Dodger baseball weekend. I think they played shitty against some really shitty teams, and then they seem to beat and rise to the occasion to good teams. Skeens was amazing for the Pirates against the Dodgers. Ohtani hit a bomb off him, but dude threw 3 pitches to Ohtani, and
That dude's unreal, bro. He's
over
fucking
100. Skeens is nasty. I hate the break that they have in the NBA Finals. Just play every other day. You're in the same city. They don't play till Sunday. I think they should be playing tomorrow. It's ridiculous. But no, to Sasha's point, look, we're just 4 guys. Some of us knew each other prior. Some of us more time. Some of us less time. But if you can't talk about sports and have a great time and just banter back and forth, and yeah, sometimes you're a little bit more passionate than you should be. Like, you probably shouldn't be talking sports with the people you're talking around. So always a great time. Always good to see E with like, we need to get him one of those like those Cane's chicken fingers, like gallon of whiskey, like the sweet tea. Get him like a half. Always, and it's gone. And it's gone.
Damn.
I thought you were a little bit more laid back in your chair.
This dude's lit.
The second half of the show.
This dude's fried.
Yeah, 100%. He got all like, yeah, and he was unmuting himself on time. Maybe we need to get E 4 fingers every show. He's a little bit more on the ball. ZJ over there, not unmuting, not knowing what's going on. But no, good weekend for baseball. The Orioles and the Mets, Phillies too. Braves, Nationals. Obviously, Braves less interested with the Kunal, but yeah, I'm those are the 2 I'm watching. I'm going to Baltimore with my son to go see them play the Phillies. That'll be our 16th ballpark together. We're trying to make it to all of them before, the good Lord calls me. So that'll be our 16th together.
Wow.
You're hiding the headline, Whit. You're hiding the headline.
I don't know.
Tomorrow's the Belmont. Tomorrow's the Belmont.
I'm not trying to talk about the
I'm
ponies.
not talking about Yankee
Especially
stuff.
when you've had 4
Tomorrow's
fingers.
the ponies, man.
If like, you've been busting my chops on the ponies, and I lost by a fucking nostril. On the other one, the fucking horse breathed a little deeper than the other horse, and I fucking lost. So I wasn't happy about that. I bet a little something on that too. And man, yeah. But yeah, the Belmont's tomorrow. Glad you're bringing it up.
Run it back. Hey, and then of course the parlay show. We've been doing pretty good. We've been missing it by 1, so we got to hit. We're going to hit soon. And then of course November 15th, the reschedule, Tyson Paul in Jerry World. Maybe Soch Witt on the undercard, pound for pound. We'll see. But November 15th.
This is ridiculous.
That's you, ZJ. Now it's up to
Yeah,
you.
100%. I just want to say big stuff obviously happening this weekend. We got the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow. We got Panthers versus the Edmonton Oilers for the first game, game 1. Some good stuff, hockey. And then, of course, Sunday, we have the game 2, Mavs versus the Celtics. Looking forward to it, baby. I'm looking forward to hanging out, watching some sports, smoking a cigar this weekend, just kind of laying back. Like E said, we got the parlay show tomorrow. You guys can always bet the singles, which is the best, but we always like to put it together for the parlay as well. So a lot of stuff going your way, guys. NBA's coming to an end, so get as much out of it as you can right now. And then we're going to be out a lot of sports. We got the WNBA kind of picking up, and then we'll got MLB we'll get into and everything. So looking forward to it all, guys. Thank you to all the viewers and listeners. Thank you for the full house tonight from the fellas, guys. Love it when we got a full house. This is the best crew in the sports business, guys. You were talking to some of the top sports analysts right here, right, ready to go. But stay fresh, my friends. Stay frosty, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Boom.